Thank you for making time to join this monthly product focus. I'm Takendo, Deputy Manager of Product Management, and I'll be your host today. In this session, we'll introduce 3 new released automotive-grade connectors, which I believe are attractive for non-automotive application as well. And we'll then close with a short update on our marketing tools. We've set aside 45 minutes in total, including time for your question at the end, but please feel free to put your questions on the chat box during the session. One quick note, today's session is being recorded and will be posted on the extranet for those who couldn't join us live. With that, let's get started. So, off. Okay, here's the agenda for the newly released product part. Today's goal is for all of us to leave with 3 new products you can recognize in a customer's applications and 3 short stories you can tell with confidence. We will go deep on FX36 and ZE150HV, then briefly introduce GT37 based on the US market applicability. Okay. We start with FX36, but before that, I'd like to show the bigger picture because a new product is easier to sell when the customer can see where it sits inside a complete portfolio. Hirose already has and continues to expand a broad range of automotive board-to-board solutions in the micro category at 0.4 millimeter pitch. We cover very compact connectors such as DF40T and BM54, which adds floating. In the middle-sized area at 0.5 millimeter pitch, you can see our popular floating families such as FX23 and KP27, which adds shielding for better noise blocking performance. And here in the middle large area are the connectors with vibration absorbing performance, which simply means floating in Z-axis. This small group is made for safety critical and harsh environment applications such as powertrains like EV drive motors, inverters, and smaller units, similar units where the board itself never stops moving. There are very few connectors in the world in this category, and one of today's stars is FX36 belongs right here. Let's start with FX36, a 0.5 millimeter pitch floating and vibration absorbing board-to-board connector with 3 key features. Firstly, space saving with 0.5 millimeter pitch and narrow depth. Secondly, reliable with a vibration absorbing design and an independent spring 2-point contact. And thirdly, user-friendly with a wide self-alignment of plus or minus 1.3 millimeter. FX36 was developed as the next generation of FX26, our CES Innovation Award-winning vibration-absorbing board-to-board connector. We developed it because of the powertrain unification trend called X-in-1. A 3-in-1 combines motor, inverter, and reducer. A 5-in-1 adds converter and onboard charger, and some are already talking about 9-in-1 and beyond. Every integration step makes the unit smaller and lighter, but it squeezes the PCB space inside. FX36 keeps the value FX26 proved and reduces real estate usage by 43% in the 40-pin comparison. Here are the basic dimensions and the variation plan. The 40-pin 20 millimeter height version has been released, and we are lining up 15 to 20 millimeter stack height with 40 to 80 positions. Here is the space-saving story at a glance. At 40 pins, FX36 achieves 43% reduction in real estate usage compared with FX26. The biggest contributor is smaller pitch of 0.5 millimeter. As of today, I believe it is Hirose only who achieved both 0.5 millimeter pitch and vibration absorbing structure at the same time. When a customer say, we like vibration absorption, but we simply do not have the board space, FX36 is a direct answer. And because the saving fails with pin count, the more pins required, the more compelling this becomes. This shows how much Hirose is eager to save space. To enable Z-axis floating, a much longer spring length is needed than typical XY floating connector like FX23. In FX26, that spring length was arranged horizontally, so it consumed depth on the board. In FX36, the spring is arranged both horizontally and vertically, keeping the spring length it needs while shrinking the footprint. FX36 is smaller because the terminal architecture was re-engineered, and that is patented. Now let's talk about reliability. In real applications, PCBs do not stay still. When the customer's unit is running, the upper and lower boards vibrate, and in the worst case, they resonate in the opposite phases. FX36 is designed to absorb this board amplitude by 0.05 millimeter. And if your customer can share 3D data, our engineering team can run a vibration simulation showing where resonance occurs and how amplitude changes if they move the board fastening points. That should be a high-value conversation opener. The core idea, The core idea behind vibration absorption is if the board moves and the male and female contact points are forced to scrub against each other, plating gradually wears away and contact resistance gets higher over time. FX36 absorbs that movement by floating in the p-axis, so the contact point is just like this. Okay, FX36 uses an this is the evidence behind that claim. The test compares samples with and without the vibration absorbing design, measuring contact resistance continuously during vibration. Without it, you can see large resistance hikes, and the photograph shows the contact point physically worn away. With it, resistance stays flat. That prevents contact point wearing that leads to resistance hikes and contact failure or temperature surge, which is fatal in safety critical applications. FX36 also uses an independent spring two-point contact structure, and this gives connection redundancy. Even if a foreign material remains on one contact point and is not completely wiped away during mating, the second contact point, driven by its own independent spring, still maintains the connection. For safety critical or harsh environment applications, redundancy is a very strong reliability message because it tells the customer the backup is built into the connector. And let me explain why we are careful to say independent spring. It clearly distinguishes ours from the non-independent two-point contacts offered by some other suppliers, which do not provide real redundancy. As you can see here, when something gets between the contact point and the terminal, the whole terminal is lifted So the other contact point is disconnected at the same time. Two contact points on paper, but only one in reality. This is user-friendly side of FX36. A large taper at both ends give a wide self-alignment range of plus or minus 1.3 mm in the X and Y directions. That matters most in blind mating and in automated robotic assembly where perfect alignment is difficult. This slide is important because I want all of us to explain floating accurately. By the floating function, FX36 absorbs permanent board misalignment in X and Y by plus or minus 0.7 mm. In the Z direction, the plus or minus 0.5 mm is effective mating length, which absorbs board stack height tolerance. However, it is not a floating length that absorbs board amplitude caused by vibration. Some other suppliers advertise this effective mating length as floating, but we choose not to do that. Saying less can feel like a disadvantage in a comparison table, but in my experience, technical customers remember who explain things honestly.
Talk on that slide, is that basically your wipe condition in the terminal?
Yes.
Okay.
This one is
Wipe.
wipe length.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. And now the competitive advantage: space saving, reliable, and user friendly. We normally compare products at the same contact pitch, but here we cannot because as far as we can see, FX36 is the only vibration absorbing board-to-board connector in the market at 0.5 mm pitch. If any of you know or find a competitor product with 0.5 millimeter pitch or less, I would appreciate your input. Here is a success case. FX36 is being designed in for a 3-in-1 application connecting inverter power and low speed signal. The key success factors were exactly the 2 points we covered: space saving and vibration absorption. Here are the target applications. FX36 fits in safety critical or harsh environment units such as inverters, electrical power steering, X-in-1 units. Also, tractors and construction machines live in vibration environments that are often worse than a car. Wherever space is limited and vibration is severe, FX36 deserves attention. Now, let's move to our second deep dive product, the ZE150HV series, an automotive high voltage Y2 board connector, and like FX36, a CES Innovation Award winner. This matrix shows Hirose's high voltage automotive Y2 board, Y2 wire connectors, from the compact ZE05 up to the 2.8 mm top size HVH280. What I would like to highlight is the pair in the middle, ZG05HV and ZE150HV. Both use a unique rib structure to minimize size at high voltage. ZE150HV is a 1.5 mm top size, 4.5 mm pitch, 10 amps and 1000 volt capable wire-to-board connector with 3 key advantages. Firstly, space saving with a very small pitch for 1000 volt and short mated depth. Secondly, unique positioning with a 10 amps and 1000 volt combination. And thirdly, reliable with a double spring 3-point contact design. ZE150HV is small for 10 amps, 1000 volt capable product. Most engineers would expect such connectors to be much larger, so this slide would surprise them. The next few slides explain why that expectation exists and how we broke it. Let me spend a moment on the industry standard because the IEC 60641 is more and more referenced to determine the rated voltage and the required creepage distance that is the shortest path along an insulating surface between the two conductive parts. Two factors drive the requirement. The first is pollution degree, which describes how much contamination, such as dust, moisture, or conductive particles, is present around the equipment. The higher the pollution degree, the more distance is required, and automotive customers typically refer to degree 2 or sometimes 3. The second is material group, which classifies insulating materials by their resistance to electrical tracking. Material group 1, used for the ZE150HV header, is the highest, followed by 2 and 3, and typical PCB FR4 is group 3A or B. Bottom line is, pollution degree and material group together determine the required creepage distance. Here's the actual chart of the IAC, and this is where the challenge becomes visible. Requirements for PCB and connector are written separately. And 1000 volt and pollution degree 2, both material group 3 for PCB and material group 1 for ZE150HV header require 5 mm or more of creepage distance. That means the connector pin to pin pitch should exceed 5 mm once you add the PCB pad or contact width, whichever is wider.
Can you go back for a second?
Right?
On the voltage, you show 1250 is that's standard working voltage, right? What is the peak on that?
A peak, you mean the kind of surge?
Yes, surge.
It's not rated here, and I need to check.
No, that's fine. You can get back to me. No problem.
All right.
Thanks.
Yep. Thank you. And for ZE150HV, the PCB pad width is 1.8 mm, so the pin pitch should be more than 6.8 mm. And you know, a connector with 6.8 mm pitch is a large object on the board. However, ZE150HV's pin pitch is much smaller, only 4.5 mm, which leaves just 2.7 mm of pad-to-pad distance. Question is, does that satisfy the IEC requirement? ZE150HV secures the required creepage and clearance while still enabling space saving. Instead of 5 mm, typical PCB requires, ZE150HV achieves 4.5 mm pitch by penetrating the PCB with the ribs on its header, like this, which changes the shortest creepage path from here to here. Altitude also increased the required clearance. Within its scope of pollution degree 2, material class 1, and altitude of 6,000 meters, the requirements are 5 mm creepage and 2.96 mm clearance, and ZE150HV provides 5.4 and 3.3 mm, so there is genuine margin on both. The selling message is short, safe, and compact by design. This slide shows the unique performance positioning, the 10 amps and 1000 volt combination with no apple-to-apple competitors found yet. The derating curve shows 10 amps at 105 degrees Celsius ambient and around 15 amps at 85 C. This capability fits two key applications: emergency discharge circuits in high voltage inverters and battery thermal control, for example, its pumps and heaters. Both need real current, not just signal, and both are growing quickly as the industry moves from 400 volt to 800 plus voltage power lines. And reliability comes from the contact design. ZE150HV uses double spring and 3-point contact structure. 1 spring plus 2 embossed contact points, 3 points of contact in total. The double spring increases the contact force, and higher contact force is what prevents the contact points from moving under vibration. Here are the competitive advantages: space saving, unique positioning, and reliable. All three are rated for 1000 volt. The difference is current. ZE150HV carries 10 amps while both competitors carry 10 amps. Normalized by current, ZE150HV is 322 cubic millimeters per amp, so in power density, we lead clearly. To be fair, the JST part is smaller in absolute volume, but when the customer actually needs 10 amps level of power, our number is the one that matters. A quick success example: ZE150HV 3-pin is designed into an EV traction 9-in-1 unit connecting the control board to the oil pump. The success factors were three: no major competitor in the high voltage 10 amps class Y2 board space saving, and quick sales support. Target applications extend beyond mobility. Inside the vehicle, we are looking at X-in-1 units, inverters, battery systems, and so on. Outside the vehicle, the same requirements appear in storage battery modules and industrial storage batteries, a market growing very quickly in US. Finally, let me introduce GT37. GT37 is a small high-speed shielded connector supporting automotive 1 gigabit single pair Ethernet 1000 base T1. The advantage is firstly space saving with a low height and a small width. You may have noticed by now that space saving is the primary advantage of all three of today's products and many of other Hirose products. That is close to being our identity as a company. And secondly, robust with a dual support lock structure. Automotive single pair Ethernet is being adopted as a main communication protocol as vehicles move from scattered ECU towards central computing architectures driven by software-defined vehicles trend. And customers keep demanding space, weight, and cost savings because every gram of components affect EV cruise range. GT37 is one of our answers to this trend. This is GT37 next to the US car standard HMTD and TE's MateNet. GT37 is visually the smallest of the three. GT37 also has a robust dual support lock structure where the resin lock spring is supported by the main plug body on both sides to prevent lock deformation. Connectors are picked up, boxed, shipped, unpacked, and assembled before they ever mate. A lock that survives that journey means fewer line stoppages and fewer returns, and assembly plant engineers would understand that immediately. The key competitive advantage are low height and small width. Okay, so let's bring it together with a summary and takeaway. We covered 3 products today, and 2 words connect all of them: space-saving and reliable. FX36 saves space through its 0.5mm pitch, which is unique in this category, and its narrow depth from patented spring stacking structure. It is reliable by absorbing board amplitude and through its independent spring 2-point contact, and its wide self-alignment is good for automated or robotic assembly. ZE150HV saves space through the unique rib design and a small mated depth. Its double spring 3-point contact give reliability under vibration, and the 10 amps and 1000 volt combination gives it a unique position today. GT37 saves space with its low height and small width, and its dual support lock structure protects it through transportation and assembly. Simple takeaway is when your customer says no space, vibration, or high voltage in a small package, one of these 3 products is very likely the right conversation to open. That's it for new product introduction, and here is quick update on marketing tools. Marketing team has added 15 promotional samples, which come with PCB or cable for customers to touch and feel, have been added to the sample portal. Also, NRB and medical brochures are updated, so please utilize them for promotion. And that's it from
Hey, Tack.
Yep.
Can I share a couple more marketing updates?
Yes, please.
There we go. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right thing here. Share. There we go. Okay, a couple quick marketing updates. Hi, everyone. This is Scott Gannett from the Director of Marketing. Thank you, Tack, and Nathan and Pete and product team for another really good training. Nice job, guys. We've got those new exciting products coming. Take a look on the Hirose USA page, hirose.com/US. You'll find a new applications page there, guys. It's a summary page where you can link to all of our various application content, including agriculture, automotive, which you'll find these products integrated into that shortly, consumer electronics, some medical devices, industrial, and the high speed. These are all the application pages that are created here as part of the Americas teams. And if you scroll down this page, you'll actually find the additional application pages linked from hirose.com as well. So it's one-stop shop to find full application information. Heads up on a new first to the market. Everyone that is sitting on this call today gets to hear this exciting news. A brand new data center landing page is launching tomorrow. So you will see this new beautiful data center communications page, which will focus on and talk about kind of our niche and play into the data center through the applications where Hirose is quietly behind the scenes helping shape the data centers. So that'll be launching tomorrow. Tack mentioned the portal, the additional products into the portal. So that's an ongoing process. Kevin's constantly managing that and updating it. You can see all the new things that have been added over the past month. We do have the physical brochures available in there as well. So if you're doing a tabletop show somewhere and will actually want the physical brochures, you can find those. You'll find the updated NRB and the new medical brochure that's been added there. And don't forget, you can always go to the flipbook page for additional all of our materials. So if you go to the landing page, our bookshelf, you can find all of the brochures in a digital format, a flipbook format, So you can have the links to these, or you can download the material from here as well. So if you ever need the PDFs from this, stop by the connector page. You can open things up. Oh, come on, there you go. Similar to this. This is the brand new medical brochure that's out there. Thank you, Michael White and Segment Team, for this awesome new material. But you can kind of see a quick example of that. And all the products link as well. So when you're in the digital format, if you click on the product series, it'll take you to a product specific page. Okay, so back to my presentation. Sorry about that. Let me go back and share here quickly. Bing. There we go. Okay. Last but not least, hot off this meeting. Look at that. And just like that, the ZE150HV video is posted. So that new video is posted and up on the YouTube channel. You also have the full line of Hirose video products on our YouTube page. It's a great place to bookmark and make sure you're going there regularly, because every NPI that gets launched has a video that is posted, as well as the other content that we're doing there. So ZE150HV is just posted, and the GT37 will be up there next week. So look for those next week. And that's it. So I just want to give those couple quick additional marketing updates. Thank you, team.